There was an old, long-abandoned house in a far-off village. No one dared approach the home, much less walk inside, because the villagers thought it was haunted. People murmured spooky stories about the mansion at night, but nobody knew for sure what happened within. Arya, a young guy who had recently relocated to the area, was intrigued by the tales of the haunted home one evening. He made the decision to look into it. Arya reasoned, "There's no way ghosts exist in this day and age." Arya approached the old house carrying a flashlight and a strong sense of resolve. Arya had an odd cold as soon as he arrived at the front of the house. The door stood slightly open, perhaps beckoning him inside. Arya cautiously pushed open the door and took a step inside. The door behind him banged once he was inside. When Arya attempted to open the door once more, it remained in place. Even though he started to feel afraid, he persisted in his investigation. Arya made her way through chamber after dusty, cobweb-filled room. Footsteps and strange noises came dimly from upstairs. Arya chose to follow the voices and headed upstairs. His every step made a loud creaking sound, heightening the spooky mood. As Arya arrived at the upper floor, she noticed a room with a partially open door. There were faint moans coming from inside. After plunging through the door, Arya discovered an ancient table with a candle burning. There was an extremely ancient diary by the table. Arya cracked it open and started to read. The last occupant of the house, a girl named Clara, was the owner of the diary. Clara wrote about how content she was there, up until that tragic night. Clara saw scary shadows and heard odd noises that night. She claimed in her letter that she would never be allowed to leave the house again and that the spirits had come for her. Suddenly, the sound of footsteps grew closer. Arya felt someone or something approaching. He turned and saw the shadow of a girl standing in the corner of the room. The girl looked at Arya with sorrowful eyes. "You must leave here," whispered the girl softly. But the girl disappeared before Arya could inquire further. Arya felt her heart race. He had to find a way out of this place quickly since he sensed something terrible was going on. Arya bolted down the stairs only to find that every door and window he attempted to unlock was securely closed. He kept hearing strange noises, like the home was alive and didn't want him to leave. Arya realized in his terror that he had read in Clara's diary that he might be able to escape through a secret door in the basement. Arya looked quickly for the entrance to the basement. He found the door, pulled it open, and went down the dim stairs. There was an old, long passage down there. He noticed a tiny door at the end of the hallway. Arya raced towards it and opened the door without thinking. He was brought out into the backyard via the door. Though relieved, Arya's emotions remained tainted with both curiosity and terror. He turned to glance back and saw Clara's shadow, now wearing a more composed attitude. Arya came to the realization that he had brought Clara's spirit comfort by discovering her diary and discovering her narrative. Arya swore she would never go near that house again. Carrying Clara's diary, he made his way back to the village in a hurry. Arya learned more from that night on, and she started to respect old stories that might have some truth to them. The haunting mansion stayed deserted and vacant, a silent witness to a mystery that would never be solved. As a result, the story of the haunted home persisted in the village's murmurs at night, telling us that some mysteries should be kept concealed.